live on YouTube. So here we go. I believe we are live. Dun, dun, dun. We did it. Dean with the Two Party Podcast. Hey guys. I want to do some quick news breakdowns. Touch on a few subjects and topics that are on just all over the place right now. Kind of give some perspective, my thoughts, my ideas, my opinions. Why? Because it's Two Party Podcast, my show. But I want to also, you guys can interact with, if you have questions, you have something you want to say, we can discuss, all on the live. Rogers Residential. Yeah. What's up there, Brian? Good to see you. Hey, Dustin. Good to see you too, buddy. I miss you. I miss having some beers with my cousin Dustin. It's been a while. Good man. So here we go. We are going to shoot through these headlines. We are going to give some perspective. And most importantly, we are going to just jump all over the place and be a scatterbrain mess like I am. So we're going to start with the top Iranian nuclear scientist assassinated. State media reported. This is on NPR, Radio Public. So we've been going back and forth with Iran for a long time. They've been stockpiling nuclear weapons. This is a good thing. And I think in the media, this can be or will probably be spun in a bad light for Trump. But in the background, if Biden ends up winning this election, becoming our president in the next administration, this is kind of a good thing. However, all of this stuff will probably subside because it seems that the Democratic Party and the left favors Iran over a lot of stuff. I just think it's a lot of shady dealing. But anyhow, real quick, I'll read. A top Iranian scientist believed to be responsible for developing the country's military nuclear program has been killed. Iranian state television said on Friday. Mohsen, I'm not even going to try that. Farizada was killed while in a car just outside of the capital of Tehran by attackers using explosives and machine guns. The state media said, describing the assailants were armed terrorist elements. The scientist was rushed to a local hospital where doctors were unable to revive him. Iran's defense minister has confirmed the death. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the attack, but some Iranian officials believe Israel played a role. Now, that is an interesting statement. While Trump is sitting here trying to put together this peace deal and trying to get people to come to the table and talk, Israel's always in the middle of being blamed for this stuff, and for many years kind of was in the middle of doing some shady stuff. But this is where we're going to see again, if we get if Biden comes in and we get a new administration, here's what we're going to see here. We're going to see Iran and Israel. We're going to see the Middle East going back into a war type state. And that's what I'm seeing. I think that there's the political climate is overseas is that they want I guess Biden's administration kind of wants them to believe, and that's what we keep seeing in the media. They want us to believe that he's our president, and I think overseas they're trying to let them think that he's going to be our incoming president. And on that note, they know that it'll be business as usual, just like it was under Obama. In other words, overseas in that Middle East area, they can just tear it up. Terrorists can do what they want, move around. The United States will support and kind of in the background enable under that administration. Obama did no justice in the Middle East. He did not bring our troops home. He did not try to stop and make peace deals. If anything, he made record numbers of drone strikes, killing innocent civilians, women and children. That is fact. There is just tons and tons and tons of things that went on under the Obama administration over there that does not help the citizens. It does not help for peace. It does not help in any way, shape, or form over there. So that being said, it's just really not a great. It's just not a great thing seeing if a Biden administration comes in, because at the end of the day, it's going to be an Obama administration all over again. We've already seen some of the people that Biden's already nominating to be in place for his foreign policy and all the different things. Every single one of them is he's basically just restaffing Obama's whole administration. And that's all it is. They're just giving the jobs back to the same people that ran our country for 8 years into the ground under Obama. So needless to say, it'll be interesting to see how this transpires, if it was Israel or if this was just some other attack. I'm not holding my breath. I think that anybody over there creating turmoil in the middle of this peace deal is a factor that is trying to start wars over there, knowing full well that if Trump's not in office, they can get away with it. If Trump stays as president of the United States, he is not going to allow our allies. Now, he's not, again, America first is the way he thinks. And so he's not going to go dive and put our troops in the middle of harm unless there's a national security risk to us. However, he's also not going to let our allies, Israel and some of these others over there, he's not going to let them get hurt by Iran, who is Iran, Iraq area. Those guys don't play ball right. So, he's not going to allow that to happen. What is Section 230 and can it be terminated? Section 230, okay, so we've been hearing a lot about Twitter, Facebook, Google, the internet in general, social media, and censoring. We've been hearing a lot about this. So some people don't really know what this entails, and it's something that's gone on. It's called the Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996. This is an old proposition that came up. It's an aging U.S. law that facilitated the rise of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and has once again been thrust into the spotlight this week as after President Trump said that it should be terminated over national security concerns. I 100% agree. However, if you terminate this, you have to have something else in place that will reach. And I want to term this, but I want to term this in a nice way. They need something in place that will restrict censoring of our First Amendment and of our freedom of speech. And why do I say that? Because back in the 90s, when this stuff was transpiring, even early 90s, late 80s, really, 2 Live Crew, the rap group, and I've mentioned this before, they fought, and many other rap artists in that day fought for freedom of speech. They fought to not be censored. They wanted to put out their music and cuss all they wanted, up and down, pornography, the whole nine, whatever they wanted to do. They wanted to put it on albums, and they wanted to promote it to their fans. And again, they won that case. That was an absolute precedent in our country where these people came in, their lawyers and them came in, they went and they gave testimony and said, look, there's no reason you are restricting. You got country music can do what they want. You've got everybody can do what they want. And under the Constitution, we are allowed freedom of speech. And they won it. They won the case. So then you started seeing back in the day, they would label all CDs with the parental advisory. That became the solution, is if you're going to cuss on your records, you got to have a parental advisory. Okay. So moving forward, the legal provision, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996, is facing growing opposition from both sides in the political divide, despite claims from social media and tech giants that it is critical to their continued existence. What it does, it protects them. It gives them immunity. And that's what the big deal is. Section 230 offers a degree of immunity to websites for any content uploaded by third parties. In other words, if I go on Facebook and I do some kind of racist rant, it protects Facebook, although I can still be gone after for a hate crime. It will protect Facebook from any liability. And that's the problem. So then they get to dictate and who is on their platform and whatnot like that, and what you can say. Where at the end of the day, if they are not, basically, it's kind of a catch-22. So it gives them immunity of liability, but at the same time, it also allows them to make choices to censor, if that makes any sense. So at the end of the day, immunity for websites for any content uploaded by third parties, be it in the form of social media post, classified ad, or user review. It gives the sites acting in good faith the protection to remove any objectionable material, regardless of whether it is constitutionally protected or not. That's the problem. The law is broad, saying that the rules apply to any provider or user of an interactive computer source. So in other words, anytime basically you're on the computer and you throw something out there on a live situation or you post, you kind of have an immunity. So in other words, if you and I set up a social media platform and we had it, we'd be under this Section 230. We would be protected. We're supposed to remove stuff, but the problem is it gives us the power to be able to also under that to bypass the Constitution and censor and or remove things we just don't feel are good. So at the end of the day, it restricts freedom of speech. Section 230 does not offer a total blanket protection. However, the exemptions are in place, meaning lawsuits are possible for criminal and intellectual property cases only. What does the legalese mean in reality? It means the platforms can let users post a status update. This is what I was talking about. Product reviews, forum messages, or upload videos without having to vet or pre-approve the content and without fearing it could result in a lawsuit. And that's it. So you can basically post on these things without them having to censor it, pre-censor it ahead of time. They let you post on there, and then but the problem is Facebook and Twitter and all these are their AIs are now flagging things after you post, usually within a second you post. That's how fast our computers have gotten these days. In theory, a lack of 230 protection would mean websites and users have to aggressively monitor the content being shared online. A radically different business model to many of the mainstream social media or tech companies that are structured around user-generated content over a paywall or subscription service. Given the sheer size of the user-generated website, it could be feasible for the online intermediaries to prevent objectionable content from cropping up on their site. The Electronic Frontier Foundation, a digital rights organization, explained. So rather than face potential liability for their users' actions, most would most likely not host any user content at all, or would need to protect themselves by being actively engaged in censoring what we say. Again, back to censoring what we see and what we do online. There was a lot of that previous to this passing. There was a lot of that back in the early internet, which is why you couldn't, porn had a big deal. You couldn't find a lot of porn. And if you did, it was sneaky little files you had to send to a friend in an email or something. So this changed a lot of things. While it has been referred to as the backbone of the modern internet, calls to revoke or reform the provision are growing among the Democrats and Republicans. While they have different reasons, both Trump and President-elect Biden have both voiced their opinion on Section 230 should be revoked. In a nutshell, just to make this simple for everybody, it boils down to freedom of speech. That is it. That cut and dry. You either have the freedom to speak your mind and speak it on the internet as an adult, sign a I'm 18 claimer, and you allow me to speak my mind, or you have to have the companies, you remove it, and you have to have the companies that are responsible. And at that point, a lot of these companies would turn into pay. You'd have to pay for subscriptions to them. They would no longer be free because it would take so much resources for them to have to handle the amount of traffic. Picture billions of millions of people and billions of people posting stuff, and you've got to screen through it. It would take a lot of money to do that because you have to have people monitoring it 24/7. That being said, it's just another one of those where our freedoms and liberties under the Constitution are being challenged or attacked, and they're being misused by the tech companies. And that's, I think, the right hand, the conservative side of it is that, the censoring that's gone on with the elections, or anybody on the right gets censored. We see it all the time. You can post anything you want bad about Trump in any way, shape, or form on any social media platform, and it will not in any way, shape, or form be blocked. But if you were to go and turn around and post anything about Biden or the left, you will have some sort of disclaimer put on, or a false, what do they call, the fact finder false disclaimer put across your post, or they will just remove or block it, or block you in general, or disconnect your account. So it's just really become a point where it's just really a big bias thing. I'm not even sure what this one was I was pulling up. It's just about the Iranian guy got killed. We already talked about that. Live updates. CDC predicts coronavirus deaths may reach 321,000, by mid-December. that's small in comparison to what, and I hate to, I'm not going to take away from the fact that these deaths have meaning to the people that have lost people. But the reality is, it says here, according to the health agency, the country is predicted to reach 294,000 and 321,000 total corona deaths by December 19th, as of Friday. So, yeah, that's a lot of people. It's a huge number. There's a lot of people in the world. That's a huge number. These people have meaning to other people. It's sad that they're dying. But initially we were told this would be in the millions. We were told that millions of people are going to die from this. And so far, I want to, not to take away from it and not to sound cold or callous about it, but if we lose 321,000 by December 19th, that's not a lot. In the big scheme of the world population, it's a lot of great minds. It's a lot of great people, great memories, loved ones, on that note. But, the things have been blown. This thing has been blown out every way but sideways, and even a little sideways from start to finish since they first started the lockdown, and we had all these restrictions, and then you got to wear a mask. Then we're all locking down for a few weeks. Then it became months. Then every state decided to do their own thing because Trump gave them the power to enable what they could do in their local vicinity, which made sense. To the point now where it's like we're supposedly going to have a new administration that's going to come in and put a big giant federal blanket across everybody and change it that way. CDC says one thing today, CDC says something else tomorrow. Well, then we got to listen to the WHO Foundation, and there's all this different. The CDC, or I mean, this COVID thing has gone so many different sideways. It's just not even funny anymore. It really, at the end of the day, has just become annoying. They're finding that the science is finding that the COVID-19 is also evolving in crazy ways to where it's actually becoming starting to try to become resistant to some of the vaccines that have been worked on. So that's an interesting thing to keep up with. I don't know. This says Friday, November 27th. That is today. Trump loses appeal on Pennsylvania election case. A federal appeals court on Friday rejected an attempt for Trump's re-election campaign to keep alive its efforts to undo the results of the Pennsylvania presidential election. A 3-judge panel of U.S. Court of Appeals in the Third Circuit wrote in scalding opinion that the Trump campaign's claims have no merit. The court's opinion marks the latest court loss for Trump, who has refused to concede the election to President-elect, they call him, Biden, and is falsely asserting that he won the race. A federal appeals court on Friday rejected an attempt to keep alive. Okay, the blistering opinion of blah 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 claims have no merit. The appellate court decision affirmed that a federal judge's ruling from a week earlier which denied the Trump campaign's request to block the Keystone State from certifying President-elect Joe Biden won its election. The opinion marks the latest court loss for Trump, who has refused to concede the election to Biden and is falsely asserting that he won the race. Trump's attorney, Giuliani, keeps doing what Giuliani does. Calling an election unfair does not make it so. Charges require specific allegations and then proof. We have neither here. On to the Supreme Court. Basically, Jenna Ellis made a tweet, and she said, Rudy Giuliani and me on the third court's opinion, the activist judicial machinery in Pennsylvania continues to cover up the allegations of massive fraud. We are very thankful to have the opportunity to present proof and the facts to the PA state legislature on to the Supreme Court. So, this is going all the way up to the Supreme Court. We kind of knew it would. Again, I've said it before. I just don't know that this is going anywhere. I really think that this is. I really think they've got it very deep. The corruption is just runs so freaking deep into almost every agency. And now what you've got is these people that are long-term federal employees who have lost their jobs under Trump administration. He let go a lot of people. You've got people now that are being told, hey, man, you can come on board the new administration. You got people looking at getting their jobs back. What does that mean? That means a lot of people are like, hey, I'm going to try, they're they're seeing this as like, an opportunity to get their job back, get access to money that they lost, or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, those are not reasons to be unbiased, or to be biased, I should say. Those are not reasons to be biased to one side, one party or the other. I don't care if I had a job as a federal employee, I was fired under Trump, Biden potentially could be coming in, and somebody comes along to me and they offer me a job. That does not mean that I'm going to do in my best powers or my best to by party lines or partisan or bias. I'm not going to do things that are shady against the other party or other administration, which again is still in office. Our President Trump is still president, and people are just going behind his back and just turning the tables on everything. And the fact that even with a peaceful transition and the GSA working with a transition team with Biden, even though it's not even certified election that he won, which is crazy that they would just be able to hand him money, and he's not been certified the president-elect. It's interesting that we are even entertaining the fact that President or Biden is coming out, Vice President Biden's coming out and doing these little puppet shows with these fake backgrounds of president-elect, which isn't even in office, and doing all these things to act like he's already doing things for the American people. He is doing nothing for the American people. He has no policy to do anything for the American people. He has no power to do anything for the American people. Right now, as it stands, he is just a former vice president who ran for the election and potentially, if it gets certified, could or could not have won. So that's where we're sitting right now. Real quick, local Tulsa County moves into Tier 3 hospital surge plan. What does that mean? The Oklahoma State Health Department has moved Tulsa into Tier 3 of the state's hospital surge plan. Tulsa Hospital Region is now officially in Tier 3. For 3 days in a row, more than 20% of patients in hospital are sick with COVID. It takes 3 consecutive days for the state to move a region up 1 tier. So apparently we are at Tier 3. And next is Tier 4, which is 40% or greater. So again, it's hitting home. It's hitting hard here in Tulsa. It is not pretty at all. Some people are just going crazy with this thing. I personally, again, for the safety of myself, my family, I am trying my best not to get out and about if I don't have to. If there's no reason for me to leave my house, as miserable as it makes me, if I have no reason to go interact in a Walmart or any type of business that potentially has people that don't realize they have COVID and they're walking around, I'm just avoiding everything I can avoid at this point. Not for fear, not for scared to get the virus or any of that, but I don't want to be sick. I don't want to get the virus. And it's common sense that if I avoid areas where people congregate and high populations of people that do not know if they carry the COVID or caught it, if I avoid those areas, I potentially am saving myself from catching the COVID at this time, which I believe I've already had it back last year. But I truly believe that if I just weather the storm, I wear my mask when I go into businesses. I don't wear it in public. I'm not going to wear it in public. Nobody's going to get me to walk around every day, everywhere, in my house, all over, wearing a mask. It's just not going to happen. If you want me to wear it in a business, I respect that. It is your business. And I, again, want to respect other people. So I will wear it when I go into other businesses. So I do. That being said, I'm not going to knock or shut somebody down or get in their face about not wearing one. Either way. Former Tulsa police officer charged with first-degree murder in federal court. Police identify a woman killed following argument in South Tulsa. Search for suspect is on. I'm just going to pull that one up because I didn't hear about that one. That's an older story. Suspect Angel. We're looking for. Okay, officers were called to a scene and they found 25-year-old Angel Beach with a gunshot wound. She was rushed to a nearby hospital and pronounced brain dead. Okay, yeah, that was an older story. Sorry about that. So anyhow, police investigate a body found in East Tulsa Creek, so at 31st and Mingo, there was a body found. Investigating after a body was found in the creek behind the Arvis Bank and 31st Domingo. Officers say the victim is an adult woman, and that is it. There's a lot of homeless. I feel bad. There's a lot of homeless people in the area. It's starting to get really cold now. Temperatures drop at night pretty bad. Some of these people they find are homeless. Some of these people are addicts. Some are both. And some of these are, can be foul play. At the end of the day, you hope the best outcome for any of this. Whoever this lady is, had family, has loved ones, people cared about her. Hopefully they find out who it is, and it's not a foul play situation. And sadly enough, if she's homeless, that's terrible enough, or an addict. But it's been getting really cold. People go in these little. If you can't see it. If I could screen share, you could. There's like a little covert ditch right here, and it's one of those. It's kind of really deep, and there's a little. The road kind of goes up over top of it. So it's very likely if she was found kind of in those areas of that ditch. I mean, it's kind of hidden. It looks like she's more in the open area, but needless to say, it's sad. This is somebody has lost, whether she's a mother, a daughter, or whatever. Somebody has lost somebody, and it's sad. Now we're moving on. Excuse me. I feel like I got the COVID just now. We're going on. Let's see why Miley Cyrus fans think these Plastic Heart songs are about Liam Hemsworth. So she dated this dude. They broke up. Blah blah blah. If you followed this poor girl's career, she started off as a really talented young teenager. Her family kind of got her. Billy Ray and her mom, and they kind of got her into entertainment at a very young age. She had an absolute amazing. She did the Hannah Montana. She did the acting. She was a singer. She had an amazing voice and really had a pretty good little acting career going for her to start off with. And then she just kind of went, went crazy, for lack of a better term, and just kind of went off the deep end. And started really shaved her head, cut her hair, did all this to try to look really weird. And then there was a lot of rumors of like some of her shows. She's offering to give blowjobs, and she just kind of went off the deep end, And it's one thing if you're trying to, get attention. It's a whole nother ball game when you're, and I understand in entertainment and Hollywood, that's kind of what you got to be over the top to get that publicity. But I think I think she went a little too far, and for a long time there, she kind of fell off. If you ask me, she kind of lost out on a lot of the opportunities she would have been afforded had she just kind of stayed a little more meek, I guess, a little humble. And then you got tattooed up, just kind of did the thing that everybody does. I guess you could call it her kind of her teenage-ish behavior. But then now she's, as a grown woman, we keep hearing all kinds of stuff of her all over. For a while there, she was with Liam, and it kind of seemed like things were okay, like they were doing pretty good. And she kind of came back to reality a little bit. And now we're kind of seeing she's got this new show or this new album coming out, working with Stevie Nicks, I believe. And she's kind of redoing some old songs, and some of it's kind of good. And I'm not a Miley Cyrus fan by any means, but I do follow entertainment. I try to keep up with some of this stuff, and I do find it interesting that how just watching her go from a child star to just this. Who would have ever thought she grew up to be some of the rumors you hear? But at the end of the day, I still try to keep up with it. She still has a huge fan base. Don't be fooled by that. She's very popular. And at the end of the day, she's pretty talented. I'll give her that. She's pretty talented. So she's still doing songwriting. She's still trying to keep her career up and going. She definitely looks like she's just partied her butt off a little too much at some point, or maybe still does. I don't know. I kind of keep up with her on some of the social stuff, and she posts some pretty wild stuff, which, again, could be publicity, could be just going through it. J-Lo goes classic for the holidays in a one-shoulder top, tailored trousers, and see-through heels. I don't know why I'm even reading this. It's just something I pulled up. I go through entertainment, I go through everything, but it's just something that popped up, and I just thought it was funny. Donning what she says is the gratitude glow for the holiday. The Hustler star shared a special post, and it has her just posing. Yeah, J-Lo keeping it real. Jenny from the block keeping alive. Best Buy has unbeatable deals for Black Friday, including a smart TV for $80. So that's interesting. So there you go. Smart TV, $80 if you need one. It's probably their cheapest of cheap, but it says right here, 65-inch and larger TVs start at about $250. There's some good deals there. The new PS5 is expensive, but a huge hit. I'm hearing everybody's waiting for the second series of it because every time you get the first series of everything, it breaks or it has problems. The new Xbox is out. That's apparently really huge. Apple AirPods seem to be. These are some of the big items that are not just Black Friday at Best Buy, but just popular. So the Apple AirPods, the Keurig coffee, the Dyson vacuums. Those are all popular things. The Insignia Fire TV is apparently the 50-inch is a good deal. Super Mario, including classics. So it says Best Buy decided to put PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC games on sale for Black Friday. We were going to go get one of those Nintendo Switches, and they just won't lower their prices on them anywhere. They tell you it's a good deal, and it's like the same $299 they've always been. And by the time we buy one, Nintendo will probably have their new product out. So I've been kind of holding out. I just like some of the old Mario games and stuff. Instant Pot Duo, multi-cooker, those are huge. There's just a lot of popular Black Friday, and of course with the COVID, we're not getting the full on. You're not getting the full on right after Thanksgiving, rushing out and doing your Black Friday shopping. A lot of us have missed out on that. So, it is what it is. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones preview, fight card times, and more. The main card also features between YouTuber Jake Paul and ex-NBA star Nate Robinson. That ought to be funny. Hey, man, all I can say is Roy Jones in his heyday was a mean mofo. And Mike Tyson was an even meaner mofo. Mike Tyson in his heyday, let alone even now, man, he's in great shape. Dude, I would hate to have to get in the ring with him for no reason, right? Or meet him in an alley. The dude's a legend. Mike Tyson at 54 has compiled a 50-6 record during his career, but he hasn't fought since 2005 when he lost to Kevin McBride, and that's when he kind of stepped away from things. He had a lot of stuff going on in his life. Mike Tyson's had quite a roller coaster of a life, anyhow. But Roy Jones, he's 51. He finished his career at 66-9. Roy Jones was just amazing. Olympic fighter, nationals. He's a beast. But I think you're looking at two different. I used to box, and from my perspective on this, you're looking at two totally different fighters here. Really, at the end of the day, Jones is very quick and moves a lot. He's very agile. Very on point. I don't know how he is now, but in his heyday, Roy Jones was on point. He can hit angles. He was able to punch and hit angles that you just half his opponents didn't even see coming. He can punch from various awkward positioning. Mike Tyson, we all know as the KO king. I mean, this dude is just a beast with power. So, his style is more get in there. He throws mean combinations. His uppercuts and his hooks are just furious. But his knockout power is unbelievable too. So it's going to be interesting because these are just two dynamically different fighters completely. So it should be really interesting. Two competitors will battle. So yeah, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. Don't miss that. I'll try to watch it, but I don't think I'm going to. I'll probably catch it after the fact. Catch the moon on Monday. We got a full moon early Monday, November 30th. And last but not least, on my little screen here is Earth is 2,000 light years away, or 2,000 light years closer to supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy than we thought. So there's that. You know, if you want some a little science kick, look up this supermassive black hole. I'm trying to find it real quick. Hold on. They're really not. Oh, here we go. Astronomy Project Vera. It doesn't really give any information. It's kind of, I'm not going to lie, this was a horrible article. Okay, horrible article. This is on CNN, and I'm not knocking them just because they're CNN. I'm knocking them because they really don't give any detail about this. Anyhow, look up supermassive black hole. Who knows what you'll find on that search, right? So needless to say, that's all I got for the news headlines. I've got some guest interviews coming up, scheduled some new ones. I've had a few scheduled. I've postponed and rescheduled a bunch. I'm trying to get, maybe you guys can help, maybe you can't. I'm trying to get some comedians, musicians, entertainers of any kind are great. I'm really trying to push for that. I've had some requests to do a lot of like kind of supernatural type stuff. And I don't know. A lot of people find that the Gaia channel very popular. I've got a few people I want to reach out to. I've actually had a couple of people that have they had to reschedule with me, but that are kind of into some of that stuff. I have throughout my life I've always kept up and followed it. My mom's kind of followed that stuff. She's kind of more into that stuff than I've ever been. I may or may not jump into some interviews with some of that stuff. What I find is that the stranger it is, the bigger the audience you can get, because some people are just kind of into that stuff, and not knocking it, just saying. There's just I was talking to my son's coach the other day, and we were kind of discussing how like the weirder it is, the bigger presence you'll get of an audience, or the bigger input you'll get from it. So I might hit some of these kind of weird topics, aliens and you know, all that stuff, aliens, where we came from, the pyramids, Egypt. There's just a lot of different topics that we could probably hit on. And it could go anywhere, who knows? But I want to get, if you know anybody or you have suggestions, go ahead and email or message me. You can type it on this video. I'll check into it. If you have a scientist or somebody who follows this metaphysical type stuff, or this even conspiracy theory stuff, is basically at the end of the day. If you have suggestions on who I should reach out to that you think would be on that would want to be on Two Party Podcast, reach out and let me know. I'd love to get them as a guest. I'd love to interview them as a guest. Let's get some people on. If you know any musicians, whether they're up and coming, maybe they're just local musicians, maybe they're big name musicians, reach out, let me know, put them in contact with me directly. They can hit me up at twopodcast at gmail.com, or they can find us on the website and click the contact page, and they can submit their information. I'd love to have them on. Somebody with an album release, comedians. I would love to get some new comedians on. I've got a bunch of interviews coming up, but I am, if you know me, you know I'm a sarcastic person. I love funny, I love humor, and I would love to get some comedy, good comedians on. I've reached out to several that I know personally, and I'm still just kind of waiting to hear back. Musicians of any kind, any genre, again, and comedians that touch on anything. It can be politics, real world, whatever it may be, you know, making fun of whatever. We don't care. The world needs a good laugh right now, and I'd love to present that on a couple episodes. Bring some comedians on. Otherwise, you know, entertainment, arts and entertainment, actors, you know, whoever you want to get on here that you have some sort of extra maybe reach than I do. I have a lot of the managing agencies. I have a lot of the publicists I can reach out to, and I have. But you know, these things take, you know, sometimes it takes somebody that knows a certain famous person or whatever to kind of make that connection and just say, hey man, the great show I follow or watch. You know, he'd love to have people on like you. Maybe you should give it a shout. A lot of people, they don't really do a lot of interviews until they have like an album coming out or some new show or promotion that they got to do. If that's the case, that's fine. I have no problem putting you on for self-promotion and stuff like that. And we do that for businesses as well. So if you have a business local to your town, local here to Tulsa, we are heard around the world, so we can promote it as much as you can promote it. We can promote and target your area. We can promote it wherever. So on that note, I just really wanted to hit this news headline and give you guys a show update. We're really working on. You can't see it. I've got a tablet over here, I've got all these different show notes all over my desk right here. I actually need to clean some of this crap up. But that's about it, guys. I just really want to go live, hit a live up. I've been kind of skipping it. I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you guys move into having a great holiday. That would be awesome. That's kind of where I'm at. Scientists find neutrinos from star fusion. Man, I can sit here. I'm on one of the science pages, and I could just sit here forever and go through science. I love science. So anyhow, guys, I love you guys. Go help somebody today. Help someone that can't help themselves, and you don't have to let them know you're helping them. You know, sometimes just doing something for somebody without them even realizing you're just doing it intentionally to help them. Sometimes just doing it because you see they need something, but they're not going to ask is the best way. Keep making memories with your family, man. If you got the time off from Thanksgiving all the way through the weekend, congratulations. Enjoy it. Make memories with your family, friends. Don't drink and drive. Don't do stupid stuff. Take care of yourself. I just had a good friend of mine that just recently passed away, accidental overdose. I will not name names out of respect for his family, but you know, this guy, long-term friend, had taken care of himself, had been really on the road to right and doing good things, and good job the whole nine, and just decided to dabble with some stuff. I guess him and a girl just kind of wanted to dabble in something for the weekend, and they ended up getting some fentanyl or something, and they died, or he died. So just, you know, again, guys, I don't care how old you are. You know, I'm old enough now that those days of partying and experimenting with things I shouldn't are gone. And I'm so glad and thankful I lived through those days. In today's day and age, there is so many things that are cut and poisoned, and people they don't care what you're getting. The whole partying and drugs thing is not what it used to be, because you're literally playing Russian roulette with your life. So it's a 50-50 chance these days. If you're a heroin addict, if you're going to get heroin or fentanyl and die. If you're going to buy Coke, it's a 50-50 chance you're going to get Coke and die, or fentanyl instead of Coke, or mixed. There is so many. The fentanyl thing has just covered the world in that game. And again, I'm not in support of, in any way, shape, or form do I support drug use or drug addiction. But there comes a point where I know about it. I've been through it. And I will say that if you're going to do that stuff, you are risking your life. It is a 50-50 chance that you do not know the actual source, and the person you're buying from does not know the actual source. A lot of this stuff comes in from other countries and cartels, and it's all about profit to whoever's creating and making and passing this stuff and spending the money to get it to your area. It is much bigger than what you see in Hollywood. It is much bigger than what any of your little druggy friends are telling you. How things work. There is people above and above and above and above and above the top tier of anybody you have any recognition of, that is behind the scenes of this, and you don't know what chemicals are falling into your stuff. I am a big believer in ending the drug war. I'm a big believer in eradicating some of the opiate addictions to the pills and stuff like that, using more natural methods, more natural and organic methods for treatment of alcoholism and different things like that, which we know MDMA, medical marijuana, Even mushrooms has come up as a new form. Psychedelics in general have brought up a new type of science to look into the medicine of it and how it can actually be used for good instead of just a party recreational thing as it was from the 60s on. So it's just one of those things that, be safe out there. Don't be stupid. If you got the whole weekend off and you're one of these people that go and you've grown up or experimented or like to experiment with drugs, if you're my age, you have absolutely no business being out there acting like you're in high school. It's just time to grow up. Fun is over with the drug thing. Find something new that's fun. If you're still a big drinker and you got the weekend off and you got the day off and you're not driving and you're going to bars and that's your thing, have fun, enjoy it, drink some beers. I don't drink some for me. So, again, I encourage you guys, more importantly in my life right now, I encourage people to just be healthy. That's just kind of where I'm at in the chapter of my life. Wherever you're at in your life, I respect that. I am at a point where I encourage other people to take care of themselves, eat right, do your best to just do better to your body. And especially in the middle of this COVID thing, because again, if you're using things that you shouldn't be using, chances are your immune system's not on its peak, and you're more susceptible to probably catching this thing. And you're also in your high or not in your right mind. You're less likely to be meticulously clean and follow protocols. So just be safe out there, folks. I've lost a lot of people to drugs and overdoses and different things, and it hits me close to home when I keep losing. This year alone, I think I'm at a count of over 8 that I've lost this year, all of them drug related and or suicides. And I just am at a point where I'm tired of seeing people I love die. I'm tired of seeing people that I love upset over people they know that died. And so just be safe, love each other, care for each other, ask questions when you see red flags, help other people. Maybe somebody's going through something and you don't know it, but if you see something that doesn't sit right with you with someone, ask. The worst they can tell you is to mind your own business. But do your best to help others, guys. This is Dean, Two Party Podcast. I'm signing off, guys. I love you. Have a great holiday weekend, and we will probably see you Monday. Later.